don't have an agenda. As you can see, the agenda might appear long, but it's only because I'm trying to continue to work putting a lot of the information on the agenda as well as some blanks for writing notes. So really from the types of agendas I used to do where they're just bulleted items, it might just be as long as it used to be, but these more pages. As I move through the agenda, we have certain people who are listed to speak to you on that, but we're going to move quickly, and that, as I told you before, my goal is to try and distill down a month's worth of information that needs to be shared with you in an hour, maybe less. So, and I want you to know, I found myself doing this at the leadership meeting yesterday. Sometimes we have all the agendas, and I want to move through them so quickly, and I don't want you to ever think that one item on the agenda is less important than the other just because I'm trying to talk so quickly through it. So just try and listen quickly, and that'll behoove all of us as we can try and finish sooner and get out of here sooner. That's the goal of faculty meetings, isn't it? I know. I remember. Okay, so first on the agenda is, I think, Mrs. Gaston. Is she here yet? Okay, we will skip that one and go to item
You got to skip her for 3.
4. And we'll come back to 1 through 3.
Here she is now. You're up.
As she's getting prepared, I'll talk to you about item number 4. And I wanted to speak personally about the issue of bomb threats. Because if you're aware, there's been a number of them at the middle school. I mean, it seems like just last month, every other day, there's a bomb threat. And, yeah, you know, I guess as an 8th grade or 7th grade student to write bomb threat and get out of class for 2 or 3 hours. And I think the last time they found out that when they had to sit out in the sun for 3 hours and not talk, that it might not be as much fun to bomb threat. And Mrs. Creasy just this week had a school-wide assembly where the sheriff's department came and spoke about how bomb threats are felonies and, you know, you can and will be prosecuted, and hopefully that'll end it for them. But for us, if we ever did have a real bomb threat, we need to be clear what we're going to do. Just like the kinds of things Robin's going to talk to you, and as we keep clear in our mind about safety and emergency preparedness, with all the other things we got going on in our minds through the school day. And all of a sudden, something comes on the internet and says, we have an emergency, will the crisis management team please report to their stations? Or do you immediately know, am I on that team? Where do I go? What do I do? We have a bomb threat, and I say, teachers, code B. Well, you won't have to do that in a bomb threat, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Last year, you know, I told you that if we ever do have a crisis, I will make sure that very clear English language is used on the intercom to describe what's happening and what we're going to do, refraining from any information that might panic the students. So if we ever get a bomb threat, policy says first off, the principal has to determine to see how, I'm trying to think of the word that's in the policy, how credible, yeah, thank you, credibility of the bomb threat, meaning if I have a little kid on the phone, you know, or something, and the secretary's taking down the information, and I've talked with our school resource officer, and they say, we're not going to do anything, and I will communicate with them, then we won't. But if the credibility assessment says we need to proceed with the procedures of a bomb threat, I'm going to come on the intercom, and I'm going to say, teachers, we have a code B. Please evacuate the building according to our fire evacuation procedures. Makes it easy. And we do fire drills every month, so you do it just like we're doing a fire drill. The only difference is I will not be tripping the fire alarm. We want to minimize as much electronic devices during a real bomb threat as possible. The one thing you have to remember is do not get on your cell phone and call your husband and say we have a bomb threat. One thing the experts say is bombs can be electronically detonated by radio signals. So we won't be able to use our school radios to communicate. So there'll be a very limited communication basis. The intercom we can continue to use because the intercom is hardwired. There's not radio frequency. No cell phones. In fact, one of the things you might want to do is immediately go ahead and turn your cell phone off. But it's mostly transmitting a signal in the building close to the bomb that you're transmitting out, so no cell phone. and then just evacuate out to where you normally do for a fire drill. Taking your grade book and your red and green sheets with you. I've got all my kids green, I don't red, and we do it just like a fire drill. I gotta tell you, the last fire drill was wonderful. We were able to go through the red cards much more rapidly than usual and made sure we had all the kids. Then, if we have to proceed further, we will go around and individually start moving you towards our relocation center, which is also the stadium at Greenbrier High School. But we'll come around and get you lined up and we'll move across in an orderly fashion instead of saying, evacuate now and everybody's just trying to move across together. Simple. We want to keep it simple because when or if it ever happens, we want to be able to go back with 1,000 things we're doing on the day and say, whoa, this is what I need to do. And of course, number one is fire drill, and we'll just move them nice and calmly and get them away from the building. Okay? Robin? Item number 1.